Hey everybody, Kaye here on my homestead. A number of you enjoyed my antique finds recently, that video when I just went in for one thing and came out with a bunch of other stuff. Well, it happened again. I'll just spit it out. It happened again. I went back in there because I went to town to mail some things at the post office, and I thought, I think I'll take myself to lunch, because I cook every meal every day, week after week, month after month. And I thought, I haven't been out since October 31st when my uncle, wait, what is he? He's my cousin. He's my older cousin and wife were here, and we went out, and I hadn't been out to a meal since October 31st. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go to lunch. So I went to lunch, and I thought, that antique mall is just right around the corner, and I still need something to put some more of the sweet Annie branches in, because I don't want to get rid of them. Every time you just walk by, it just smells so fantastic, and I could just be smelling that all winter. So I went in there, and I went to the same vendor. As I explained, there were a bunch of different vendors in there. And the one I went to last time, where I got that beautiful spongeware pitcher, which turned out to be a very good deal, by the way. I looked that up. And on Etsy, I searched on Etsy for spongeware, which is stoneware, not earthenware, stoneware. And there was only one other one. It wasn't quite as nice or as big. And it was 3 times what I paid for mine, but I got mine on sale because this vendor has everything in her 2 booths on 40% off. Oh my goodness. Well, so I started looking for a gift for somebody, and I thought, oh, I really like that. And then I go, oh, gee, that's late bloomer red. I can't get rid of that. And then I said, well, I really like that tablecloth. And I'm going, that would be a great tablecloth for, during the year. And then I found a sugar furton, I think it's called. It's what you use to put your sugar in. And I'm going, that is so cool. With all my prepping, I have so much sugar in there. And I could just put my sugar in that. And I thought, that is so cool. And, by the time I got out of there, oh boy, but it was 40% off everything. So would you like to see what I got? One other thing I found in there was a dough bowl, exactly like the one my grandmother made 80 biscuits every morning in. And I got it. I wound up with it, but it had a crack in it. And I went and had it restored because I thought, oh, this is an important thing, and I need to make sure it lasts for the rest of my life. And so I had it restored, and it cracked again. I didn't even use it. It's just sitting around like something pretty. But look at this. It's exactly the same bowl. Maybe this was what, they sold back then. It's the same size. This could be like a twin of the dough bowl that I have in the house that my grandmother made. So it's nice and shallow, so it's nice for working up biscuit dough. And I think bread dough. It looks exactly the same as the one I have. We'll compare it when I go in. But mine is cracked, And I got a basket. I mean, you can never have too many baskets, right? I'm not going to use this one for the garden because it's an antique. I want to keep it nice. But look at this. I was trying to think, how long has it been since you've made a bundt cake? A bundt cake. Maybe if you're young, you've never even made your first bundt cake. Ow, let go. But you must. You must. I challenge everyone watching to make a bundt cake and surprise me with what you put in it. I remember, I'm not sure if my mother used a bundt pan or if she did it in a regular baking cake cake baking pan. But when I grew up, having the sliced pineapple, well, it winds up being on the top, but you layer the baking pan with sliced pineapple. And of course, I'm sure my mother used canned, because it's not like we had fresh pineapples growing up. We didn't have fresh anything except what the Southerners grow in their gardens, and that's only in the summer. Peas, corn, beans, cabbage, fruits, dried fruits and all, apples, all that stuff. But I never even had asparagus until I had been out of college. Or an artichoke, or an avocado. Never my whole young life. Anyway, we didn't have all that, guys. We just didn't. When I grew up, we didn't have all of this imported stuff. And there were bananas growing in the United States 40 years ago. But the last banana plantation, unless it's changed, now I knew this 20 years ago, so maybe it's changed, but the last banana place that, grew bananas for sale was in Santa Barbara area or something, and they went out of business. And that was some time ago. So every single banana you see in the store is imported. We just didn't have all that growing up. So everybody had a garden. They grew all the things I just mentioned. They put them up. It's called putting it up. You put them up, meaning preserve, and either can or freeze. Nobody had a freeze dryer or dehydrator. Well, they dehydrated the apples, just on a string hanging outside or in the sun, or dried them that way. Nobody had those kinds of devices like we do now. Anyway, back to the bundt pan. I had a bundt pan, for a long time. I don't know what happened to it. And I didn't use it very often. But see, this is a bundt pan. So you line the bottom of it with pineapple slices. And I don't remember the recipe, honestly. There's some kind of, I guess, syrup you pour on that. And then you put your cake batter in there and you cook it. And then when it cools a little bit, then you turn it and it falls out. And then you've got those beautiful pineapple slices on the top. So you've got a bite of pineapple in every bite of cake you taste. It's wonderful. Anyway, I challenge everybody. Here's the bundt pan cake challenge. I'm starting this right now. I want everybody watching this to make a bundt cake. And if you don't have a bundt pan, make a cake in a regular baking pan that is, so the top, make it so that whatever's on the bottom will be the top when you turn it, and that will be the top of your cake. You won't be frosting it or anything like that, okay? And so let me get this real quick. It's just easier to do it in here. Look at this beautiful thing. Look at this. Okay, I took a picture because they always keep the tags, but I'm pretty sure it was called a furton. Wait, how did I get that off? It came off very easily when I was in the store. But it's like a very, very, very heavy-duty hat box. Believe it or not, they used to make wooden hat boxes. I have some. They may still make them, but it's really heavy inside, see? And it's heavy, so it's going to be really heavy when it's full of sugar. So it's really sealed. It's beautiful. And I have a hard time believing it's not a reproduction, but, because it's so well made. But I'm just trusting the dealer, and she said it was vintage. So, on her tag. And then I've got some beautiful glassware. It's all packed. We'll have to see that inside. Okay, I have a thing for this coloration. It's very 40s, and I have some beautiful drapes. I've never used them. I bought them probably 25 years ago, and they're this coloration. And this is a little vase. Now, I'm not sure. There's no hole in the bottom, so I don't know how you actually have a plant, but it's called a planter. But I may just sit it around because it's just so So cool. I have some ducks in my guest room. You'll have to see those at some point. This is great. This is perfect for pancake batter, but it's a vintage, so you gotta be careful. It's Depression era green glass, and it has a handle, so you can literally make your batter in that and pour it right onto the hot skillet or griddle. I'm not going to unfold it, but you can see how pretty. It's grapes and leaves, and there may be some flowers on here. It's nice vegetables, see? Isn't that perfect for my kitchen table? Perfect. And then look at this. I just had to have it. I mean, this is such a classic. McCall's Garden Book from 1968. It says everything you need to know to care to create a flourishing garden just right for your home. Step by step, season by season, plant by plant. I'm telling you, as part of our prepping, we really need to have books, not rely on everything online. And I've been trying to get some, I've gotten a couple of those wild foraging books and square foot gardening. I've got several gardening books. Anyway, let's see what's in here. Oh, this. Okay, this is the late bloomer red. This is exactly the color of my, and it's so heavy. That's how you know it's old. Wow, it's going to be even heavier when it's full of water or whatever. Tea, iced tea. It's a Hall brand, made in USA. Isn't that refreshing to see made in USA? I debated, and I went back and got this. Look at this. Now, I don't think my bundt cake will fit on here. I think it's going to be too wide. This is a cake where you display your cake on it. Isn't that gorgeous? That's green glass. It's glass. Okay, that is very heavy. I've got to set that down. And that's the show. I feel that we have a strong need for almost anything to cheer us up, especially right before the holidays. And so I encourage you to go check out the antique malls because they have deals. And you could find something made in the United States that's actually beautiful and possibly even unique. And certainly probably something you might be able to use. So I hope that's helpful. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh yeah, and don't forget the bundt cake, okay? Please let me know when you have made your bundt cake. Take a picture of it, a horizontal picture, and I'm going to make a video. I'm going to make a bundt cake, and then I'll put your pictures at the end of that video. So please make a bundt cake and let me know you're doing it. All right, take care. See you in the next video. Okay, this is my grandmother's, and look, that crack. I could never use it, because even though it's repaired, it's not sealed. It kind of came apart. But look, well, actually, mine looks a lot older and more rounded and sanded than this one. But they're virtually the same size. You can see how handmade it is. That's almost oval. That one's more round. But it'll do. I bought this one to use. I hope this is not the only chicken I ever have.